बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम. May I have your attention please? Thank you very much for coming. अपने चेहरे पे मुस्कुराहट रखनी है, ठीक है. अगर कोई मुंह का जाविया बदले तो मुंह नीचे कर लेना, मुझे नहीं देखना, ठीक है. खास तौर पे अगर यॉर्निंग है तो वो मुझे नहीं देखना. ये ना समझे कि मास्क पहना हुआ है, मास्क की सिलवटें खुलती हैं, पता चल जाता है, ठीक है. तो अगर कोई ऐसी फीलिंग हो रही है ना तो मुंह नीचे रखना है, क्योंकि मैं आप लोगों से एनर्जी लूंगा एंड देन आई विल गिव इट बैक टू यू, ठीक है. So we are going to take a start with listening and the class will finish by 10 p.m. Keep that in mind. You're going to go on a long journey, right? When you sit on the aircraft, they say we will reach Karachi in 1 hour 40 minutes. So it's going to be something like that, right? पहले ख़त्म होगी क्लास तो आपकी किस्मत, वरना 10 बजे हमें यहाँ से हमें भी निकाल देंगे. Okay? It's just like wedding halls, so don't worry. Yeah? 10 से ऊपर नहीं जाती क्लास. Okay, now we are going to start with IELTS listening module, and today very carefully I have selected a very difficult test for you. Happy about it? Yeah, अगर यहाँ पे आसान टेस्ट हो, like you know over here we do weight lifting. मैं आपको 2 किलो का एक वेट देता हूँ, आप very comfortable, very happy, मसला ही कोई नहीं. वहाँ जाते हैं तो 30 किलो का वेट मिलता है. So then you say ये क्या हो गया? Okay, so I have selected a very difficult test. What they are doing, actually every Saturday they conduct IELTS test, and luckily I receive many messages all over the world कि test में क्या आया, the question type and all that. Last Saturday I received some messages after the test and they gave multiple choice questions. Like there were many multiple choice questions, and even before that they gave multiple choice questions in part 1. Right? So now I have selected a test for you which is full of multiple choice questions. Okay, ऐसी की तैसी. Let's see that, huh? Exactly. So you have to be with me. I mean, initially section 1, you will be just like this, huh? Very happy, yeah? I find the answer. Then section 2, थोड़ा सा नीचे होंगे. Section 3 और नीचे होंगे, right? और section 4 पे फिर वापस आ जाएंगे. Section 4 पे मेज के नीचे नहीं जाना, ठीक है? Section 4 पे you will come back because section 1 and section 4 they are not very difficult. Only the thing is section 2 and section 3. So don't worry. I am very well prepared. I will show you the logic, the reasoning of every question. आंखें बंद करके नहीं कहूँगा इसका आंसर A है. आप पूछें सर A क्यों है? बस A है तो A है ना. Okay, not like that. Okay, क्योंकि आगे A ही दिया हुआ है आंसर, right? So, anyways, let's just take a start. Listening part 1. Now remember, in actual exam when they start IELTS, they will say Cambridge IELTS by the University of Cambridge ESOL examination. You don't have to listen to it. You just start reading the questions, and I would say like you've got around 20 to 30 seconds. So try to take an overview of all the test. Like you say, okay, one word only. All right, multiple choice. Map. Okay, you read on. Okay, again multiple choice. And then you say one word only. So just like this, you can do that. Okay, and the spirit should be fighting spirit. Right? Not the other spirit. अच्छा देखते हैं क्या होता है. Not देखते हैं क्या होता है. हम दिखाएंगे कि क्या होता है. Something like that. Okay. So fighting spirit should be there till the end. It's not that like initially one type of questions came and then you are disturbed and the whole test is spoiled. No. Till the end, and don't judge yourselves and don't copy others. Let me just tell you. I'll not name the students. In last mock test, 2 students were cheating, right? And we just saw them. और वो जिसकी चीटिंग कर रहा था उसके भी आंसर गलत थे, तो दोनों के ही आंसर गलत हुए. ओके, वेरी इजी. सो इन IELTS एग्जाम नेवर इवन थिंक ऑफ चीटिंग एनीवन. You don't know. Like, you know, some people they take IELTS test like, where are you going for IELTS test? They think it's a messy interview. Coats, ties, and you will see one candidate like that. England chal rahe hain. Something like that. So IELTS test, always wear the attire in which you are comfortable. If you are comfortable in slippers, go on, no problem. They will not say, okay, slipper पहने आधा बैंड कम हो गया, ठीक है. शॉर्ट्स नहीं पहन के जाना, but otherwise it's all fine, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, so just relax and don't look here and there. और बेचारा जिसकी नकल की, अच्छा मैंने 6 आंसर उसके लिखे, दोनों के 6 तो पक्के गलत हुए और बाकी उन्होंने लिखे ही नहीं थे. Okay, so कम से कम नकल के लिए अगर किसी को बिठाना है तो अकल वाले को बिठाएं, not like that. Okay. Part 1 is going to start and they're going to say you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7. Now when they give you some time to look at questions 1 to 7, you will have to take a look at the questions and I tell you how to read the questions. The first thing is you will only read 7 points where there are the questions. Okay, you will not read everything. It's not that they say, okay, you have some time to read questions 1 to 7 and you say event, jazz band, cost, example, tickets available for 15 pounds, venue, the dash school, notice and all that, notes actually, right? Don't do it like this. Just you can underline 15 pound and then venue, the dash school. So it can be the smart school, the city school. I mean, it's going to be the name of the school. Now after this, you will come to notes, right? And then next is duck races, 1 pound per duck, and then you will come to question number 3. So 1, 2, 3, then 4, and after 4 they've given some notes, then 5, 6, and then 7. You understand? Now, whenever you're solving completion type of questions, they are going to do 2 things. Number 1, they will use rewording. Okay. Number 2, they are actually going to confuse you. That is what I call trap. So I tell you how to identify that trap, right, and how to avoid that trap. So question number 1, the dash school, it's the name of the school, and in the table you can see event is jazz band, cost is already mentioned, venue we are going to see, and the venue is a school. It can be the name of the school, right? Let's see what that is. Yes, I want to play this audio first. In actual exam, they will play audio like this, I tell you.
You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only.
All these instructions, this audio is of 47 seconds, right? 47 seconds means you got plenty of time to go to section 4, or I would not say section 4, section 3, where there are multiple choice questions. You always have less time for that. So this time you're going to spend over there, and when in the audio they say section 1, then come back. Is that clear? Yeah, you need to work very, very smartly. Now, question number 1, please.
You will hear a woman telephoning for information about a festival.
Okay.
Good morning.
One more thing. In the beginning of each section, when they start the audio, they will give you the introduction of that audio. You will hear a woman telephoning about a festival. Now, what you have to do, you have to visualize a woman telephoning about a festival. If you visualize means imagine. If you imagine what you listen, you will be able to pay more attention. You will be able to understand the audio better. So that is why whenever they start, now for example, I'm starting it again.
You will hear a woman telephoning for information about a festival.
Okay, now you understand women telephoning about a festival, so I'm all set for that, right? So before every audio, they will tell you this very thing.
Good morning, Stretton Festival box office. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. My family and I are on holiday in the area, and we've seen some posters about the festival this week. Could you tell me about some of the events, please?
Of course.
First of all, are there still tickets available for the jazz band on Saturday?
There are, but only £15. The £12 seats have all been sold.
OK, and the venue is the school, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. The secondary school. Make sure you don't go to the primary school by mistake.
Secondary school, and make sure you don't go to primary school by mistake. Now first you write secondary school, then primary school. Okay, just don't listen for the word. You should understand, right? Secondary school. How do you spell secondary? C-O-N-D. Secondary. That's right. Very good. Okay, that's confusing me also. Okay. All right. Good job. Is this all clear? Yes. So primary school was a trap. We call it trap. Okay. Good. Let's go on. Question number 2. Notes also appearing. Then the name Caroline Hart. Place the dash. Now Caroline Hart plays the dash. Jazz band. Jazz is musical band. Okay, so actually Caroline Hart, she plays something. It's going to be a musical instrument. Now again there will be a trap. If they say, I think she plays guitar. No, in fact she plays violin or anything like that. Just listen, they will talk about a couple of musical instruments, but whatever she plays will be the answer. All clear? पीछे तक आवाज आ रही है? तस्वीर भी आ रही है? Very good, excellent. आपको भी समझ आ रहा है ना? Good, good. That's right. So question number 2, please.
And there's an additional performer who isn't mentioned on the posters. Carolyn Hart is going to play with the band.
Oh, I think I've heard her on the radio. Doesn't she play the oboe or flutes or something?
Yes, the flute. She usually plays with symphony orchestras, and apparently this is her...
All right. Flute. And first she said oboe. Oboe is a musical instrument, big baja type thing, okay? So flute is going to be the right answer. How do you spell that? U-T-E. Very good. I'm going to play this part again.
And there's an additional performer who isn't mentioned on the posters. Carolyn Hart is going to play with the band.
Oh, I think I've heard her on the radio. Doesn't she play the oboe or flutes or something?
Yes, the flute. She usually plays...
Okay, so doesn't she play oboe or flute or something? Yes, the flute. So the answer is flute. And if you write the flute, wrong answer. Why? Because it is one word only. Very good. It's written there, one word and or a number. So word plus number, only word. Let's go on. That's good. So next question number 3. Duck races, £1 per duck. Start behind the dash. Now the duck race will start behind something. It is going to be place behind the stadium, behind the bar, behind the restaurant, behind the cafe, and for behind they are going to use the word back or backside or any other word that gives the meaning of behind. So whatever they say after behind, that is going to be your answer. And if they say it is not going to start, or if they say it will end at, now ending point is not your answer. Your answer is starting point. And for start they might use the word begin. Okay, so rewording, and this is, you should understand, I call it IELTS language. IELTS language, the language they speak and the language they write in the questions. Okay, let's take a start.
Then the next thing I want to ask about is the duck races. I saw a poster beside a river. What are they exactly?
Well, you buy a yellow plastic duck, or as many as you like. They're £1 each. And you write your name on each one. There'll be several races, depending on the number of ducks taking part. And John Stevens, a champion swimmer who lives locally, is going to start the races. All the ducks will be launched into the river at the back of the cinema. Then they'll float along the river for 500 metres, as far as the railway bridge.
At the back of the... Very good. See that now, for behind they use the word back, at the back of the cinema. And by the way, the is already written and it's one word only, so you will write cinema. Cinema, okay, not Selma or not even Salma. Yes, cinema, C-I-N-I. Very good, fantastic. Let's go on. Question number 4, prize. Now what's the prize? Tickets for dash. Yeah, maybe ticket for something. Now they are offering concerts, duck races, flower show. So it can be ticket for flower show, ticket for concert, ticket for something. So tickets for dash. Now prize is, you can win tickets for the concert or anything like that. Let's go on.
And are there any prizes?
Yes. The first duck in each race to arrive at the finishing line wins its owner free tickets for the concert on the last night of the festival.
Free tickets of the concert. Exactly. So concert, K-O-N. Very good. This is just to activate your brain and all that. Whenever something wrong touches you, you react. Okay, so I need that reaction. Consi. पक्का? Alright, ये request आई है कि ये गाना दोबारा चला दें. So I'm going to do it. Question 4.
And are there any prizes?
Yes. The first duck in each race to arrive at the finishing line wins its owner free tickets for the concert.
Wins its honor free tickets to the concert. Now for wins its honor free tickets to the concert. So prize is tickets for. Free tickets to the concert. To the concert means tickets for concert. So concert is the right answer. Okay, let's go on. After that, ducks can be bought in the dash. Now in the dash means place where you can buy. Are you imagining all these things? A river and you put plastic ducks and the ducks will go on with the flow, and if your duck is right front of all the other ducks and your name is written, aapki batak jeet gayi. Huh? Yeah, it's just like, and these ducks are not real, plastic one. Yeah, plastic ki batak, okay? Yeah, the one you press and say quack quack like that. Alright, उन बतखों से मैं बचपन में अपने बच्चे डरा के सुलाता होता था. Yeah, they were really scared. People sound and the children are scared. Alright. Yeah, I did it several times. My son Mustain एक फंस हो नहीं रहा, बतख से इतना डरता था, बतख को चलाया, बच्चा साथ ही सो गया. That was good one. Okay, so now we see ducks can be bought in the dash. Now there is a very good trap with this question. Let's see what you do. So in the means location where you can buy the ducks, right? Let's see.
You said you can buy a duck. I'm sure my children will both want one.
They're on sale at a stall in the market. You can't miss it. It's got an enormous sign showing a couple of ducks.
Okay, I'll go there this afternoon. I remember walking past there yesterday.
Yes, and there's a word stall. There is a stall in the market. Now, if you write stall, you cannot say ducks can be bought in the stall. It can be at the stall. So, preposition will help you find the right answer. Okay, so the answer is market. Very good. Alright, let's go on. Question number 6. Now, it's about flower show. Imagine flowers, gobi ka phool, band gobi. Yeah? Free. And venue is dash hall. It's going to be the name of the hall, right? Yeah. Let's see.
Now, could you tell me something about the flower show, please?
Well, admission is free and the show is being held in Bythwaite Hall.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
Bythwaite. Bythwaite.
W-A-I-T-A? Alright, let's listen to it again.
Now, could you tell me something about the flower show, please?
Well, admission is free and the show is being held in Bythwaite Hall.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
Bythwaite. Bythwaite.
No, it's, let me check that. Yeah, that's confusing. I think E. Yeah. W-A-I-T-E. Exactly. Right? W-A-I-T-E. So I'm going to play it again, please.
Now, could you tell me something about the flower show, please?
Well, admission is free and the show is being held in Bythwaite Hall.
Sorry, how do you spell that?
Bythwaite.
T-E.
Bythwaite.
E. Cambridge जाना पड़ना है फिर. It's saying E. At the end they've also given E. Okay? Alright, let's go on. Said, sir, that is zyadti hai na, okay? Something like that. Huh? Yeah, I tell you, just last week, one student contacted me. He said, sir, I took my IELTS test in reading. There were no answers for question number 23 and 24. I said, how are you so sure? He said, I'm damn sure. They were only talking about interior and there wasn't any information about exterior. So questions 23, 24, there were no answers in the passage. And I said, okay, I'm always interested in these type of things. He said, okay, email IDP and they will tell you. he emailed IDP and then they sent him a long mail. We rechecked the test and tests are standard and this and that and all that, and they said there are the answers. So if anything wrong, that is on your end, right? आपको नहीं आंसर मिल रहा तो ये नहीं है कि आंसर है ही नहीं है, ठीक है? Yeah, so be careful. All right, let's go on. Questions 8 to 10. Oh, 7 is left. 7 is left. Just a second. Just a second. Prizes presented at 5 p.m. by a well-known. Underline well-known. For well-known, they will use the word famous. Popular. Well done. Exactly. Famous, popular. Whatever they speak after famous, after popular, that will be the answer. Prizes presented at 5 p.m. by a well-known politician. Yeah, no, well-known is not appropriate word for politician. It should be defamed politician. Yeah, badnaam is something like that. Anyways, not all the politicians are bad. Yeah, some are very bad also. Okay, this is the new one. So, yeah. Question number 7.
Is it easy to find? I'm not very familiar with the town yet.
Oh, you won't have any problem. It's right in the centre of Stretton. It's the only old building in the town, so it's easy to recognise.
I know it. I presume it's open all day.
Yes, but if you'd like to see the prizes being awarded for the best flowers, you'll need to be there at 5 o'clock. The prizes are being given by a famous actor, Kevin Shapless. He lives nearby and gets involved in a lot of community.
Alright, Kevin Shapler is the answer. Okay, answer is actor. And please don't yell the answers जब तक audio खत्म ना हो, जब तक मैं पूछूं ना तब तक answer नहीं बताना. ठीक है? Yeah. चल. All right. Now we've got questions 8 to 10. Who is each place suitable for? We call it matching. Now we are going to do matching type of questions. You can see plays are given in questions 8, 9 and 10. Right? These are questions, plays, and then ABC are the options. Now, you're not supposed to read the questions because questions are only the names. Always remember one thing. You know, I've checked this in several IELTS books. I'm solving one test every week. So, what do? Sometimes questions will be ABC like that, and options are going to come towards the questions, right? So, you just have to see if in the questions they have given you the names, then you don't need to read the questions. And if they have given the names like place names or all that in the options, then you will not read the options, you will read the questions. You understand my point? Sometimes ABC को वो questions में ले आते हैं और जो questions है वो options में चले जाएंगे. So अगर options में they have the names, then you don't need to read the options, then you will read the questions. और अगर questions में सिर्फ names हैं, then you will read the options, right? Very simple. So let's see. Mainly for children. Mainly for children means bala waste, बच्चों के लिए, छोटे बच्चों के लिए, right? Mainly for children. Mainly for children means actually that activity is for children. If they say, although parents can join, but actually this activity focuses at children. So mainly for children. B, mainly for adults. Mainly for adults means only adults can just see that, over 18 or anything like that. Now C, suitable for people of all ages. Children, adults, men, women, all ages. So it's going to be like that. Now the first is play Mystery of Muldoon. Okay, let's see what do they say. Now just you got to do one thing. Left hand with this pointing finger will be on question number 9. Right hand that is holding the pencil is going to move. And by the way, you'll just focus children, adults and both. Suitable for people of all ages means everyone. Right? So let's see Mystery of Muldoon.
I've seen a list of plays that are being performed this week, and I'd like to know which is suitable for my children and which ones my husband and I might go to.
How old are your children?
5 and 7. What about The Mystery of Muldoon?
That's aimed at 5 to 10-year-olds.
So if I take my children, I can expect them to enjoy it more than I do?
I think so.
A, I can expect them to enjoy more than I do means mainly for children. So A will be the right answer. And whenever they label A, B, C, never write the words which are actually labeled. For example, mainly for children. Now, if you write mainly for children, if you write answers like that, absolutely wrong. Okay, here. Question number 9, fire and flood. तुक्का लगाएं. हाँ, fire and flood. C. Huh? I salute your thoughts, huh? The way you think. That's good. Question number 9.
If you'd like something for yourself and your husband and leave your children with a babysitter, you might like to see Fire and Flood. It's about events that really happened in Stretton 200 years ago, and children might find it rather frightening.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
Yeah, children might find it frightening, and you can leave your children to the babysitter. Right? So the answer is B, mainly for adults. You were right, okay? Yeah, exactly. Question number 10, silly sailor. Now let's see. C, kyunki ek hi reh gaya. Now listen. In this type of questions here, answer can be repeated also. A, B, C can be repeated as well. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're doing any question, you can keep in mind that it can be children, adults, or it can be all ages, right? It's not that one option will be used once. It can be used twice as well. So question number 10, please.
And finally, what about Silly Sailor?
That's a comedy, and it's for young and old. In fact, it won an award in the Stretton Drama Festival a couple of months ago.
That's comedy. It's for young and old. So young and old is people of all ages. Now you have to understand these things. People of all ages, young and old, right? So for question number 10, answer is C. Good. Okay guys, now let's continue section 2, and in this section 2 again we've got matching. So one question type can be repeated. In listening, in reading, one question type can be repeated. Multiple choice questions you can get in section 1, section 2, even section 3 and even section 4. So any type of questions may appear in any section of IELTS. Keep that in mind. The question type is not especially designed for any special section, right? Okay, section 2, questions 11 to 16. First of all, you read this title. What does the speaker say about each of the following collections? Now you can see collections are questions and comments are there. So what will you read? Collections or comments? Comments, right? Because you know they are going to comment on each collection. The name of collection is very simple. They will talk about it one by one. Yes, if questions are comments and collections are in the options, then you will read questions first. I'm again warning you because I have solved one test where the comments are questions and the collections are actually the options. So in that case, you will read the questions, right? Now, let's see. We will read the comments and they will speak about these comments and they're going to use rewording, paraphrasing and all that. Comment A, was given by one person. Was given by one person. Now listen, it was donated by Mr. Asad. Okay, understand? Given by one person. Mere naate hasa kyun aa raha tenu? Alright. Okay. B, was recently publicized in the media. Recently publicized in the media. For media, they can use the word newspaper, magazine, TV, radio. Publicized, for that they can use the word advertised, right? Or it appeared in the radio, it appeared in the newspaper, like that. Option C, includes some items given by members of the public. Include some items given by members of the public, like some people contributed, right? For example, we've got Quaid-e-Azam Museum here. So in Quaid-e-Azam Museum, some people contributed. They had some pictures, rare pictures or some rare things, and they contributed. So include some items given by members of the public. Members of the public means local people contributed or local people actually gave them these items. Option D, include some items, okay, given by artists. Now listen, it includes some paintings, for example, which were gifted by the painters themselves or artists themselves. So it's that. Option E, includes. Now over here, let me tell you, just in option A, underline given by one person. Option B, underline recently publicized in media. Option C, includes items given by public. Option D, includes items given by artists. Option E, includes most popular exhibits in the museum. So it includes exhibits are those paintings or drawings or all that. So includes most popular exhibits. They will say some of the paintings you might have seen already. It means these paintings are so popular. The temperature is not good. It's hot, yeah? Just try to check that. Option F is the largest of its kind in the country. For largest, they can use the word the biggest one, or they say this is the largest one. And option G has had some of its contents relocated. Contents relocated means they shifted from one gallery to another gallery, from one museum to another museum. Now, listen, what you're going to do, your left hand is going to be on question, the right hand is going to be on options. Question number 11 is 20th and 21st century paintings. In this type of questions, it's very easy to keep up with the audio. Because first they say, well, let's talk about 20th and 21st century paintings. Then they say, alright, now as far as 19th century paintings are concerned, so you can easily find, you can go on systematically and this hand will move with the audio. And this hand is going to just find where the options are. Let's take a start. Question number 11.
You will hear a guide at an art museum talking to a group of visitors.
Good morning and welcome to the museum, one with a remarkable range of exhibits which I'm sure you'll enjoy. My name's Greg and I'll tell you about the various collections as we go around. But before we go, let me just give you a taste of what we have here. Well, for one thing, we have a fine collection of 20th and 21st century paintings, many by very well-known artists. I'm sure you'll recognize several of the paintings. This is the gallery that attracts the largest number.
All right. Many by well-known artists, and you will recognize. What is that? Option E. Option D is include some items given by the artist. They did not say given by the artist. They say recognize them. They'll say well-known. So it's option E, includes the most popular exhibits in the museum. I play this again. Please focus.
You will hear a guide at an art museum talking to a group of visitors.
Good morning and welcome to the museum, one with a remarkable range of exhibits which I'm sure you'll enjoy. My name's Greg and I'll tell you about the various collections.
By the way, answer will come when he says 20th and 21st century. उससे पहले जो भी कह रहा है उसको सुने बस. That's it.
As we go around. But before we go, let me just give you a taste of what we have here. Well, for one thing, we have a fine collection of 20th and 21st century paintings, many by very well-known artists.
Many by well-known artists. Now, option E includes the most popular exhibits in the museum, and
I'm sure you'll recognize several of the paintings.
I'm sure you'll recognize several of the paintings. So that is most popular exhibits. For paintings, they have used the word exhibits. Is this clear? So option E is the right answer for question number 11. Let's go on. Question number 12, 19th century paintings. Let's see what do they say about them.
Then there are the 19th century paintings. The museum was opened in the middle of that century, and several of the artists each donated one work to get the museum started, as it were. So they're of special interest to us. We feel closer to them than to other works.
Several of the artists donated their work. So it's option D for doctor. That's right. For question number 12, answer is D. Clear? Alright, let's go on. Sculptures. Question number 13, please.
The sculpture gallery has a number of fine exhibits, but I'm afraid it's currently closed for refurbishment. You'll need to come back next year to see it properly, but a number of the sculptures have been moved to other parts of the museum.
Excellent. समझ आ गया. हाँ, number of sculptures have moved to other parts of the museum. It is closed for refurbishment, but there is no option for that. And then they said number of sculptures moved to other part. That means relocated. So G is the answer there. Alright. Question number 14. Around the world exhibition. Let's see what do they say about it.
Around the World is a temporary exhibition. You've probably seen something about it on TV or in the newspapers. It's created a great deal of interest because it presents objects from every continent and many countries and provides...
चुप कर जा बड़ी दंदियां निकल रही हैं हाँ All right, TV and newspaper. Now just see media and TV. एक word से आंसर पकड़ा गया. So the right answer is option B. That's right. Let's go on. The next one is coins, kings and coins. Okay? Yeah. Question number 15. Let's go on.
Then there's the collection of coins. This is what you might call a focused specialist collection because all the coins come from this country and were produced between 2000 and 1000 years ago. And many of them were discovered by ordinary people digging their gardens and donated to the museum.
Yeah, many of them actually discovered by people digging their gardens and they donated. So people, what is that? C, include some items given by members of public. I'm going to play this again.
Around the world is a temporary exhibition. You've probably seen something about it on TV or in the newspapers.
Sorry.
It's created a...
15, yeah.
Then there's the collection of coins. This is what you might call a focused specialist collection because all the coins come from this country and were produced between 2000 and 1000 years ago. And many of them were discovered by ordinary people.
Many of them were discovered by ordinary people. Now what's the word for ordinary people? Members of the public. Members of the public are ordinary people. Janta. Okay, that's what they say. Alright, question number 16. Porcelain and glass. Let's see what do they say about it. And by the way, if you don't know the meaning of anything, it will not affect. If you don't know what porcelain is, don't worry about it. Just take it as a word. Yeah.
All our porcelain and glass was left to the museum by its founder when he died in 1878. And in the terms of his will, we're not allowed to add anything to that collection. He believed it was perfect in itself, and we don't see any reason to disagree.
A, was given by one person and they used he for that person. I'm playing this again. I see some question marks on some faces.
All our porcelain and glass was left to the museum by its founder when he died in
By its founder when he died. So founder and when he died is one person, right? Was given by one person and it's actually that. Alright. Okay guys, now we have the map and the maps are very difficult. एक स्टूडेंट को मैप आया था, पता है क्या हुआ था? Oh gosh, very difficult. बेसमेंट वाला मैप, ओए होए, तो डबल से आता. हाँ, will happen. बच्चों को ऐसे डराया जाता है. डर का बिजनेस है. यार डरेंगे नहीं तो फिर कैसे होगा काम? हाँ, मुझे आते लेने दे पहले. Yeah, मास्क ऊपर करें, ओके? ट्राइंग टू स्केयर मी लाइक दिस. भाई मुझे क्यों डरा रहे हैं? मैं तो आपको आइल्स पढ़ा रहा हूँ, मुझे ऐसे देख रहे हैं. ओके, दैट्स गुड. मास्क जरा ना लगा के रखें, आजकल हालात अच्छे नहीं है, ठीक है? वैसे भी अच्छा रहता है, मास्क लगाया ना बंदे को पता ही नहीं चलता. That's good. Okay, museum, basement of museum. Listen now carefully. Maps are the easiest ones. I'm gonna tell you. Don't worry, I'll just prove it to you. I say, maps are the easiest one. Thank you very much. Sir, okay, how come? I'm going to tell you how maps are the easiest ones. The first thing is, now, you know, a lot of people are going to text me on WhatsApp, what I'm going to say now. I will share a handout with you which is all about maps. So there are some words, phrases and sentences that will help you with maps. Okay, the first thing. Second, whenever they give you the map, you are not supposed to read the questions. You are not supposed to read the questions. You will read the map. Okay, now let's take a look at questions. 17 restaurant, 18 cafe, 19 baby changing facility. Ye baby choti wali, okay? 20 cloakroom, right? So, I mean, you don't understand anything. You don't get, did I say anything funny? मुझे खुद नहीं पता चल रहा. All right, anyways, I don't know why you guys are laughing. So, anyways, now don't read the questions. Come to the map. Can you guys see sitting area and the toilets? Toilets already दिए हैं, यहाँ से आपको आगे लेके जाएंगे. Now, sitting area is the only area we have. So for every answer, he is going to take you from the sitting area. Understood? And there are the stairs. Now we understand it's basement. So there are the stairs like this. You go down and then they will take you. The first thing is, now they have not given any directions here. If they give you directions, then on that piece of, on the map, you will write N, capital S, capital E, and capital East, West, North, South. If they give you directions. And when they do not give you directions, then what do they do? Left, right, exactly. Yeah, left, right, and all that. Okay, now let's see. They are going to talk about restaurant. First of all, they will take us down from the stairs. Okay, let's do a practice. Your pencil should move with the map in the audio if you want to find the answer. Never do the maps like this, okay. I'm doing map, okay, not like this. Your pencil should move, right? Alright, so let's see. If they say, please go down the stairs, turn your pencil. अपनी pencil उल्टी कर लें, ऐसे कर लें, अभी लिखना नहीं है, ठीक है? Alright, please go down the stairs and then cross the sitting area. Pencil हिलाते जाएं, घुमाते जाएं. Cross the sitting area, right? And facing you on the left. Which option is that? When you cross the corridor, facing you on the left. A. Okay, A is not actually facing you. Listen. Go down the stairs and then cross the sitting area and go towards the end of the corridor. On the left side, you will see the room on the left. That is C. Now once again, go from the sitting area and after that, immediately turn right. Got it? Turn right and then you will find the first building that is facing you. Facing you means not E, not H, it is F, something like that, right? Now let's see. Restaurant is question number 17. This hand is going to be here and this hand is going to move the pencil according to the audio. Turn left, turn right and all that. Okay, let's start.
Okay, that was something about the collections, and now here's some more practical information in case you need it. Most of the museum facilities are downstairs in the basement, so you go down the stairs here. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you'll find yourself in a sitting area with comfortable chairs and sofas where you can have a rest before continuing your exploration of the museum. We have a very good restaurant which serves excellent food all day in a relaxing atmosphere. To reach it, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, go straight ahead to the far side of the sitting area, then turn right into the corridor. You'll see the door of the restaurant facing you.
Huh? Alright, listen, two words. One is far side. Far side of sitting area means the outer side of sitting area. Okay? And then they use the word facing you. Right? Now, if I am walking from here, facing me is actually that sound system over there. Facing you. Right? So they took you from there, sitting area, far side of sitting area, then they said turn right. And then they said the room facing you. Now, E is not facing you, H is not facing you, F is actually facing you, so that is the right answer. I play it again. Don't worry.
Okay, that was something about the collections, and now here's some more practical information in case you need it. Most of the museum facilities are downstairs in the basement, so you go down the stairs here. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you'll find yourself in a sitting area with comfortable chairs and sofas where you can have a rest before continuing your exploration of the museum. We have a very good restaurant which serves excellent food all day in a relaxing atmosphere. To reach it, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, go straight ahead to the far side of the sitting area.
Okay, go straight ahead to the far side of sitting area. So sitting area ke aage put your pencil over there. Now far side means the outer side. Now you don't know it's going to take you left or right and all that. So far side of sitting area.
Then turn right into the corridor.
Then turn right into the corridor. So that is that passage. When you come from here, that is corridor. Turn right into the corridor. Now when you turn right into the corridor, now option can be E, H, F or G. It depends where they ask us to turn.
you'll see the door of the restaurant facing you.
You'll see the door of the restaurant facing you. Now facing you is only F. Is that clear to everyone? Yeah. वहाँ जाके नहीं रास्ता ही भूल गए. अंग्रेज तो पूछा, excuse me sir, I want to go to the post office. At the end बेचारा अंग्रेज साथ छोड़ के आ रहा है. So be careful. That's why they give you the maps when you go to English speaking country. At least you can reach the place where you want to go. Next is cafe. Question number 18. Let's see where the cafe is.
If you just want a snack or if you'd like to eat somewhere with facilities for children, we also have a cafe. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, you'll need to go straight ahead, turn right into the corridor, and the cafe is immediately on the right.
Turn right into the corridor and the cafe is immediately on your right. So immediately on your right is E. E. किसने लिखा है? Very good, very good. Excellent. H is the right answer, right? अब ये नहीं करना कि मैप को घुमाते अच्छा है सीधा कभी ये नहीं करना ये सर मुझे मैप ऐसे मिलेगा या ऐसे मिलेगा या जहाँ जहाँ वो कोई मैप को घुमाते जाए. ठीक है, मैप आपके सामने. जब मैप सामने, so this is right, this is left, this is top, this is bottom. So it's there. Okay, next is baby changing facility. It does not mean you take your old baby and get a new baby from there. It has another meaning. Yeah. ऐसे अंग्रेज बड़े चालाक हैं के पास baby changing facility भी है. Yeah. Question number 19. Yeah, this refers to the diapers and all that stuff. Yeah.
And talking about children, there are baby changing facilities downstairs. Cross the sitting area. Continue straight ahead along the corridor on the left. And you and your baby will find the facilities on the left-hand side.
Good. You and your baby will find the facility on the left-hand side. And the corridor. They said corridor. So now you understand corridor and it's this. I'm playing it again.
And talking about children, there are baby changing facilities downstairs. Cross the sitting area. Continue straight ahead along the corridor on the left.
Okay. So continue straight ahead along the corridor on the left.
And you and your baby will find the facilities on the left-hand side.
So you and your baby will find the facility on the left-hand side. Next is cloakroom. Question number 20, where you can leave your luggage and coats and all that.
The cloakroom, where you should leave coats, umbrellas, and any large bags, is on the left-hand side of the sitting area. It's through the last door before you come to the corridor.
A? It's actually B. Last door before you come to the corridor. Now corridor is C, D, that is corridor. So it's the last door before you come to the corridor, option B. Is that clear? Now you will focus these words, phrases and all that. Okay. Okay guys, now we've got section 3 and section 3 is with double multiple choice questions. Then single multiple choice questions. Don't worry, we'll do them together. Okay, let me give you a little bhashan about multiple choice questions. In multiple choice questions, they check your ability whether you can differentiate right information among or from some confusing information. They will give you confusing information or there will be some confusing talk, and from there they'll give you 5 options, and out of 5 options 2 options are correct. Now what we do, we always look for the right answer. Right? Now instead of looking for bad people in your life, no, instead of focusing the good people in your life, if you eliminate the bad people from your life, automatically you will be left with good people. Same is the case with multiple choice questions. Now in multiple choice questions, you are not looking for the right answer. You are looking for wrong answer and you are going to eliminate the wrong answer. Like for example, A cannot be the answer. The way they spoke about A, for example, A cannot be the answer. So when successfully you eliminate the wrong choices, then automatically you will find the right answer, and that is the game. What do the students do? They are waiting for right answer. And then the answer comes because they confuse you a lot in multiple choice. They use same words over there, but they only twist the ideas. For example, if you say, where are you going? I say, I wanted to go to London, but... Now when they say but, pichla wala cancel ho. Or if they use the word however, if they use the word neither nor, it means, or they say unless. I mean, these are the words where they got the wrong choices. Now we have double multiple choice. In double multiple choice, first of all, you will read the question statement. Let's read it together. Which two characteristics were shared by the subjects of Jonah's psychology study? So two characteristics shared by subject of Jonah's psychology study. So we will see two characteristics, two qualities or something like that. Now we've got 5 options. Out of 5 options, 2 options are correct and 3 options are incorrect. Number 1. Number 2, they will speak about all these options in random order. Random order means they will not speak about A first, then B, then C, then D. They may start from option D, then they go to option E, then they come to option A. So the first thing is you should go on with the audio. If they are discussing option C, your pen should be on option C. And after listening to that, if you think option C is the right one, tick that option. If you think it's the wrong one, cross a little cross at the end of that option. And if you are confused, you don't know it's right or wrong, question mark. Right? So just like this you do. Now let's read the options. And by the way, in the options you can see the words they had, they were, these words are being repeated. Whenever you read the options, another thing is you need to actually, summarize these options. Option A, they had all won prizes for their music. Just underline all won prizes for their music. Clear? So she's talking about the characteristics shared by subject. And that was psychology study. Option B, they had all made music recordings. Just underline all made music recordings. Clear? Option C, they were all under 27 years old. All under 27 years old. Option D, they had all toured internationally. All toured internationally. Option E, they all played a string instrument. All played a string instrument. What is string instrument? Guitar, violin, any instrument that has the string in it. Now listen carefully, the next thing. They are going to speak about 3 options negatively, oppositely, or in any way like that. For example, option A, all won prizes for their music. All won prizes for their music. If they say most of them had even won prizes for their music. Now tell me, most of them means all? No. ले लो जमाई, ले लो भाई, कोई बात नहीं, खैर है. All won prizes for their music. Now all does not mean most of them, all does not mean majority of them. That is going to be opposite. Now if they say in the audio most of them had won prizes, that does not mean all. And if they say everybody had won prize, that is the right option. Clear? हाँ? Yeah, तो थोड़ा सा ना वो लेके आया करो. क्या बोला? कोई नहीं सुपारी हो गई, कोई सौंफ हो गई, थोड़ी सी ना यहाँ पे रख ली, इससे जरा सुकून होता है, बंदा एक्टिव रहता है. 14-14 घंटे की लोग ड्राइव करते हैं ऐसे. Sir, B, they had all made music recordings. Now all made music recording, whatever the word which is opposite of all, if they use it, that option should be neglected. That option should be eliminated. All made music recordings, some of them made their music recordings. Few of them had made their music recordings, that is opposite. And if they say everybody had made music record, then this is the right answer. Option C, they were all under 27. Now listen, all under 27 years old. They'll say most of them were under 27 years old and a couple of them were 29 or 30 as well. Then this is not the option, right? Because they said all under 27 years. And if they say the maximum age was 27 and most of them were below this age, so it could be like all under 27 years old. Next, now if they use any other word 28 or if they use any word like after 27, then this will not be the right answer. Option D, they had all toured internationally. Again the word all toured internationally. Toured internationally means they visited other countries. So if they say all of them visited other countries, this is the right answer. If they say some of them, few of them, then it is not going to be that, right? And option E, they all played a string instrument. Again the same thing, string instrument, all played. All means everybody played guitar and sitar and violin and all that. Okay, now I play the audio. The first thing is catch the option which is being discussed. और मुंह सीधा रखना है, यानी इसके मुताबिक मुंह जो है ना उल्टा. मैं फ्रेंच पढ़ाता था यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ सेंट्रल पंजाब में. वहाँ फ्रेंच का ना एक्सेंट बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. फर्स्ट 2-3 वीक्स में आवाज़ें निकालनी पड़ती हैं एंड ऑल दैट. बोंजूर, comment allez-vous, très bien, merci. स्टूडेंट्स का जैसी साउंड होती थी वैसा मुंह बनता था. फिर आर की साउंड आ गई, बोंजूर बोंजूर, समथिंग लाइक दैट. ये जैसी साउंड वैसा मुंह. मैं स्टूडेंट्स को कहता था भाई मुंह तो सीधा रखो, राइट. सो यू शुड, आई मीन जैसा क्वेश्चन वैसा मुंह नहीं बनाना, मुंह सीधा रखना है आप लोग. कम से कम देखिए, मैं सारा मुंह तो मांगता ही नहीं सीधा, इससे नीचे वाला जैसा मर्जी रखें, यहां तक जो है ना मुंह आंखों समेत सही रखें, राइट. नाउ लेट्स टेक अ स्टार्ट. और अब आप मुझे दोनों ऑप्शंस बताएंगे, राइट. ये
You will hear a student called Joanna talking to her new supervisor about some research she has done on psychology and music.
Hi, Joanna. Good to meet you. Now, before we discuss your new research project, I'd like to hear something about the psychology study you did last year for your master's degree. So, how did you choose your subjects for that?
Well, I had 6 subjects, all professional musicians and all female. 3 were violinists, and there was also a cello player and a pianist and a flute player. They were all very highly regarded in the music world, and they'd done quite extensive tours in different continents, and quite a few had won prizes and competitions as well.
And they were quite young, weren't they?
Yes, between 25 and 29. The mean was 27.8. I wasn't specifically looking for artists who'd produced recordings, but this is something that's just taken for granted these days, and they all had.
Right.
all right. The first thing is there should be a correction. The word subject means on the people she did her experiment. So subject does not mean the subject of experiment. Subject, for example, if I do any experiment on you, it means you are the subject of experiment. So that is the thing. Now, the order in which they spoke, first they spoke about E. They all played a string instrument, but she talked about one who played flute. Flute is not a stringed instrument. So option E is out of question. Then they spoke about 2. Option 2, they had all toured internationally. This is the right option. I'll play the audio again, don't worry. Okay, I'll play it again. Then after that they said few of them had won prizes. Option A. Option A. She just said few of them had won prizes, so it's not all had won prizes. Then they came back to option C. 27 years old, and they used the word 29 also. So we eliminated that as well. And finally they spoke about option B. They had all made recordings, and she said particularly I did not look for the ones and all that. Yes, they had all made recordings. So I'm going to play this one again. Option B for boy and option D for doctor. These two are the right ones. Now listen, if you selected one of these options, you will get 1 mark. Right? If you, for example, you selected C, D. C is wrong, D is right, you will get 1 mark for that. Now let's listen to it again, thoroughly.
You will hear a student called Joanna talking to her new supervisor about some research she has done on psychology and music.
Hi, Joanna. Good to meet you. Now, before we discuss your new research project, I'd like to hear something about the psychology study you did last year for your master's degree. So, how did you choose your subjects for that?
Well, I had 6 subjects, all professional musicians and all female. 3 were violinists, and there was also a cello player and a pianist and a flute player. They were...
Okay, 6 subjects, all female, violinist, piano player, and then a flute player, right? So actually option E, they all played a string instrument. It wasn't that. Clear? Now let's go on. Now they will talk about option D.
All very highly regarded in the music world, and they'd done quite extensive tours in different continents.
They'd done quite extensive tours of different continents. So they had all toured internationally. So for internationally different continents. The first right answer is D. Okay. Now see, audio is going on. Now they will come to option A.
And quite a few had won prizes and competitions as well.
And quite a few won prizes and competitions as well. So option A, all had won prizes. But actually quite a few, so option A is the wrong option. Now they will come to option C. Please listen.
And they were quite young, weren't they?
Yes, between 25 and 29.
Between 25 and 29. When she used the word 29, this C cannot be the answer because C is 27, under 27. When you say 29, it is above 27, right? So this cannot be the answer. And now they are going to talk about option B.
The mean was 27.8. I wasn't specifically looking for artists who'd produced recordings, but this is something that's just taken for granted these days, and they all had.
Right.
This is something which is taken for granted these days, and they all had. They all had means they all had their music recordings. So the second right answer is B. Notice one thing, first they spoke about E, then D, then A, then C, and then B. So this is the order, and it can be any order. I mean, it's not going to be like this. Now let's go on. Smile, I need a smile. Shelfie. Okay. So questions 23 and 24. Choose two letters. Which 2 points, underline 2 points, does Joanna make about her use of telephone interviews? Now telephone interviews, and she's going to make 2 points about telephone interviews. You understand telephone interviews? You interview someone telephonically, okay? Let's see what are the points. A, it meant rich data could be collected. Underline rich data could be collected. Now if in the audio she says I could collect some amount of data, or I could collect a lot of data means rich data. Just listen for that. Whenever she talks about data, you can come to this point. Option B, it allowed the involvement of top performers. Now if she says due to this, top performers also participated in the interview, right? It allowed. Now what does it mean by it? Telephone interview, exactly. Okay, option C, it led to a stressful atmosphere at times. Stressful atmosphere at times. Like during the telephonic interviews, there was some stressful atmosphere. If she talks about it, it's fine. If she says, I was expecting there would be some stressful atmosphere, but to my surprise, the interview went on smoothly without any anxiety, something like that. Option D, it meant interview times had to be limited. Now if she talks about limited time, it means the interview time should have been limited, or only 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes, then it is the right answer. And if she says some interviews went as long as 40 minutes, then there is no limited time. Option E, it caused some technical problems. Now if she says the call was disconnected or internet or anything like that, if she talks about it and she says, although I was expecting some technical issues, but thank God everything went on as per my plan. Okay, now I play the audio. First catch the option and then decide tick or cross.
Now, you collected your data through telephone interviews, didn't you?
Yes. I realised if I was going to interview leading musicians, it'd only be possible over the phone because they're so busy. I recorded them using a telephone recording adapter. I'd been worried about the quality, but it worked out all right. I managed at least a 30-minute interview with each subject, sometimes longer.
Did doing it on the phone make it more stressful?
I thought it might. It was all quite informal though, and in fact they seemed very keen to talk. And I don't think using the phone meant I got less rich data. Rather the opposite, in fact.
Interesting.
But masoom bache, but they are very clever. Okay, so the right answers D. C. Alright, मिलके क्या करो ना, तू A बोल मैं B बोलूँगा, तू C बोल मैं D बोलूँगा, सबकी इज्जत रह जाएगी. Alright, the right answers are A and B. Now if you selected one of these, you will get 1 mark. If you selected both, you will get 2 marks. Now I'm going to tell you how other options are wrong. I know whenever you select a wrong option, you understand something and then you decide. Now I will tell you why you misunderstood and why A, B are the right answers. Let's take a start. First of all, write down the order in which they spoke. First of all, they spoke about option B. So after B, write 1. B जहाँ पे स्टेटमेंट खत्म हो रहा है वहाँ पे 1 लिख लें. देन ऑप्शन E, E फॉर एलिफेंट, इसके आगे 2 लिख लें, शुरू में लिख लें, एंड पे लिख लें, ऑल फाइन. देन ऑप्शन D, जस्ट राइट 3 आफ्टर ऑप्शन D. देन ऑप्शन C, इसके आगे 4 लिख लें, एंड देन ऑप्शन A, इसके आगे 5 लिख लें. नाउ दिस इज द ऑर्डर इन विच दे स्पोक, राइट? Now I play the audio one by one and I will tell you why C, D, E are wrong options.
Now, you collected your data through telephone interviews, didn't you?
Yes. I realised if I was going to interview leading musicians, it'd only be possible over the phone because...
Okay, if I was going to interview leading musicians, it was only possible through telephonic interviews. So, it allowed the involvement of top performers. For top performers, they use the word leading musicians. Okay, so it allowed means telephonic interview actually allowed that. I'm playing this part again.
Now, you collected your data through telephone interviews, didn't you?
Yes. I realised if I was going to interview leading musicians, it'd only be possible over the phone because they're so busy.
Is that clear? So the first right answer is B. Let's go on. Now please come to option E.
I recorded them using a telephone recording adapter. I'd been worried about the quality, but it worked out all right.
Telephone adapter and recording adapter, I was worried about the quality, but it went out right. Which option is neglected? E. It caused some technical problems. Did she cause some technical problems? Not at all. I was expecting, but it went out right. So option E should be crossed. Clear? Now come to option D for doctor. It meant interview times had to be limited.
I managed at least a 30-minute interview with each subject, sometimes longer.
Sometimes longer. 30 minutes interview with each subject, sometimes longer. So when they say sometime longer, then it means time did not have to be limited. 30 minutes and longer. If you said 30 minutes with everybody, that could be the limited time. So option D should also be eliminated. Eliminate means leave it out. By nikal dein, okay? Now we come to option C. Let's see what that is.
Did doing it on the phone make it more stressful?
Okay, whenever they speak about an option in the question, just listen for the answer. If the answer is yes, positive, that is the right answer. If the answer is no, then that option is, it should be eliminated, right? Now what he said, I just go back a little.
Times longer.
Did doing it on the phone make it more stressful?
Didn't doing it on phone make it more stressful? It's a question. Now what does she say?
I thought it might. It was all quite informal though.
I thought it might, right? I thought it might. Whenever they say I thought it might, it means it didn't happen, right?
And in fact, they seemed very keen to talk. And I don't think using the phone meant I got less rich data.
I don't think using a phone means I got less rich data. Now, less rich data is the opposite of it meant rich data. Now, listen now, what do they say?
Rather the opposite, in fact.
Rather the opposite, in fact. So, opposite of less rich data is meant rich data could be collected. Option A, right? You have to be like, I mean, at least you should have the understanding that how far they can go. Let's go on. Next two questions, 25 and 26. Which two topics did Joanna originally intend to investigate in her research? Two topics originally intend to investigate. Now they have given us 5 topics. out of 5 topics, she wanted to investigate into 2 topics originally in her research. Option A, regulations concerning concert dress. Now regulations means rules and regulations, concerning means related to, concert dress means what they wear when they come to the concert. The musicians, have you seen some musicians, they are wearing some special costume? It's about that. Option B, audience reactions to the dress of performers. Audience reaction, how did they react? Now we are learning which 2 topics did Joanna originally intend to investigate. Out of 5, 2 topics. So second is about audience reaction to dress of performance. Option C, changes in performer attitudes to concert dress. Changes in performer attitude to concert dress, simple. And option D, how choice of dress relates to performers' roles. Performers' roles means what they were performing. Someone was playing violin, someone was singing and all that. How choice of dress relates to that. And option E, links between musical instrument and dress choice. Now the one who was playing piano, his dress was different, and the one who was playing drum, his dress was different. So links between musical instrument and dress choice. Now same thing, let's speak about all 5 options. 3 options should be eliminated and 2 options are the right ones. Let's start.
And you were looking at how performers dress for concert performances.
That's right. My research investigated the way players see their role as a musician and how this is linked to the type of clothing they decide to wear. But that focus didn't emerge immediately. When I started, I was more interested in trying to investigate the impact of what was worn on those listening, and also whether someone like a violinist might adopt a different style of clothing from, say, someone playing the flute or the trumpet.
It's interesting that the choice of dress is up to the individual, isn't it?
Yes, you'd expect there to be rules about it in orchestras, but that's quite rare.
So, E is right, very good. And anyone else? C, anyone else? Okay, the right answer is option B for boy and E for elephant. B is audience reactions to the dress of performers, and E is links between musical instrument and dress choice. I'm going to play this audio again and we are going to find it.
And you were looking at how performers dress for concert performances.
That's right. My research investigated the way players see their role as a musician and how this is linked to the type of clothing they do.
Okay, how this is linked to the type of clothing. So links between musical instrument and dress choice. Dress choice, type of clothing. So the right answer came first. Listen again.
The way players see their role as a musician and how this is linked to the type of
dress for concert performances.
That's right. My research investigated the way players see their role as a musician and how this is linked to the type of clothing they...
So, my research investigated. That's what, which 2 topics did Jonna originally intend to investigate? My research investigated and then links between musical instrument and dress choice. So, the first they spoke about option E, which is the right answer. Let's go on.
Decide to wear. But that focus didn't emerge immediately. When I started, I was more interested in trying to investigate the impact of what was worn on those listening. And
okay, I was more interested in what was worn by those who were listening. That is audience. Let's see.
Also, whether someone like a violinist might adopt a different style of clothing from, say, someone playing the flute or the trumpet.
It's interesting that the choice of dress is up to the individual, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, option A, regulations concerning consent dress. He said the choice of dress is up to individual. It means there is no regulation, right? So option A is also wrong. Option C, changes in performers' attitude to concert dress, they did not mention. Option D, how choice of dress relate to performers' roles. Now, they spoke about it negatively. Let's listen for this part. Come on.
And you were looking at how performers dress for concert performances.
That's right. My research investigated the way players see their role as a musician and how this is linked to the type of clothing they decide to wear. But that focus didn't emerge immediately. When I started, I was more interested in trying to investigate the impact of what was worn on those listening, and also whether someone like a violinist might adopt a different style of clothing from, say, someone playing the flute or the trumpet.
It's interesting that the choice of dress is up to the individual, isn't it?
Yes, you'd expect there to be rules about it in orchestras, but that's quite rare.
That's quite rare. So regulations concerning concert dress, that is wrong. Changes in performer's attitude, that is wrong. And how choice of dress relates to performer roles. Alright, let's go on please. Listen, you can do one more thing. Whenever you are doing this listening test, you got the book. At the end of the book, they have actually given the transcript. So even if through audio you don't understand, you can go towards the transcript. And then you can read the transcript, match it with the question, and this is how you can even understand it better, right? Okay. Alright guys, now we've got another multiple choice question type, that is single multiple choice question type. So question number 27, let's just see. In this type of questions also, when they give you time to read the questions, I tell you, at the end of each section, they will give you half minute to check your answers. I advise you all to spend that half minute to read the questions of next section. Then you will get around 1 minute to read the questions. Now, we've got this multiple choice and 27. Jauna concentrated on women performers because. Now, she concentrated on women performers because. Now, because means this multiple choice is about the reason. Reason means why. Why did she concentrate on women performers? If you remember, she said, I chose 6 women as a subject, 6 or 8, whatever. Right? So why did she concentrate women? Now let's see option A. Women are more influenced by fashion. Just underline more influenced by fashion, and women, the word women is understood. That they are talking about women. More influenced by fashion. Option B. Women's dress has led to more controversy. Women dress led to more controversy. Controversy means they should not wear this, they should wear that and all that. Women's dress led to more controversy. And option C, see in our country also the women dress is controversial. They should wear this, they should not wear that and all that. Option C, women's code of dress is less strict than men's. Women's code of dress is less strict than men, means men have got strict code of dress, especially when men are going to the offices. They have strict dress code. For women, they don't have strict dress code. So these are 3 points. Now again, they will speak about them all in any order. Eliminate 2 options and you will find the right one.
You only had women performers in your study. Was that because male musicians are less worried about fashion?
I think a lot of the men are very much influenced by fashion, but in social terms, the choices they have are more limited. They'd really upset audiences if they strayed away from quite narrow boundaries.
Yeah. C, exactly. That's right. Absolutely. Women's code of dress is less strict than men. I'm going to play it again.
You only had women performers in your study. Was that because male musicians are less worried about fashion?
Was that because male musicians are less worried about fashion? That's what they said here. Women are more influenced by fashion. But he just asked a question. Male are less worried about fashion. So this A option is wrong. Right? Now, let's see what does she say.
I think a lot of the men are very much influenced by fashion, but
I think a lot of men are influenced by fashion. So men are influenced by fashion, but A is women. That's why it's the wrong option.
in social terms, the choices they have are more limited.
In social terms, the choices they have are limited.
They'd really upset audiences if they strayed away from quite narrow boundaries.
Alright, so this leads to women's code of dress is less strict than men. It's a bit ambiguous. Okay, just a second. Let's just read the transcript of that. You'll be clear about it. Question number 27? Yeah? Good. Now please listen. I think a lot of the men are very much influenced by fashion, but in social terms, now link this thing, but in social terms, the choices they have are more limited. Choices they means men, are more limited. They'd really upset audience if they strayed away from quite narrow boundaries. Now that is actually option C, women's code of dress is less strict than men. And how do they speak about other option? Now popular music has quite different expectations, and then they talk about the other one. Alright, let's just go on. Let's listen to it again.
You only had women performers in your study. Was that because male musicians are less worried about fashion?
I think a lot of the men are very much influenced by fashion, but in social terms, the choices they have are more limited. They'd really upset audiences if they strayed away from quite narrow boundaries.
If they strayed away from narrow boundaries means men, if they strayed away from narrow boundaries. So women's code of dress is less strict. Men's code of dress, they use the word strayed away from the boundaries. Right? They upset the audience. C is the answer. Question number 28. Mike Frost's article suggests that in popular music, women's dress is affected by. Now, Mike Frost article, popular music, women's dress is affected by. Women's dress is affected by three factors. Their wish to be taken seriously. Wish to be taken seriously. Option B, tendency to copy each other. Women copy each other. Yeah, you just said the pen. किथों लिया suit? Yeah, कहाँ से सिलवाया ये कहाँ से लिया है वो कहाँ से लिया फिर बताती नहीं एक दूसरे को. Right? Yeah. Alright, the other day I was driving, going somewhere and I had an argument with my wife. I said, she said, मुझे पता नहीं चल रहा उनके घर में ये पहले पहन के गई थी कि नहीं. I said, come on, you should not think like that. Yeah, be reasonable. It doesn't mean you cannot repeat your dress and all that. And then few weeks later, it was me. ये शर्ट तो मैं पहले भी मैनेजमेंट हाउस पहन के गया था. And then she attacked back. She said, excuse me, repeat. Then I was like, okay, yes, you're right. I said, एक हफ्ते में repeat नहीं होनी चाहिए. 15 दिन बाद हो जाए तो खैर है. All right, that was the thing. So A, their tendency to copy each other. Copy each other means women. Yeah, their tendency to copy each other. C, their reaction to the masculine nature of the music. Reaction to masculine nature of music. So Mike Frost's article suggests that in popular music, women dress is affected by one of these three factors. Let's do it.
Now, popular music has quite different expectations. Did you read Mike Frost's article about the dress of women performers in popular music?
No.
Well, he points out that a lot of female singers and musicians in popular music tend to dress down in performances and wear less feminine clothes, like jeans instead of skirts. And he suggests this is because otherwise they'd just be discounted as trivial.
But you could argue they're just wearing what's practical. I mean, a pop music concert is usually a pretty energetic affair.
Yes, he doesn't make that point, but I think you're probably right.
C is their reaction to the masculine nature of music. Actually, the question is women's dress is affected by. So B is tendency to copy each other. It's actually A. Wish to be taken seriously. Now let's focus the wording that they use for that.
Now, popular music has quite different expectations. Did you read Mike Frost's article about the dress of women performers in popular music?
No.
Well, he points out that a lot of female singers and musicians in popular music tend to dress down in performances and wear less feminine clothes.
Okay, tend to dress down and tend to wear more feminine clothes.
Like jeans instead of skirts. And he suggests this is because otherwise they'd just be discounted as trivial.
Okay, otherwise they've been discounted as trivial. So in order to be taken seriously, they try to wear that. Okay, I got it. I played again this part.
In popular music.
No.
Well, he points out that a lot of female singers and musicians in popular music tend to dress down in performances and wear less feminine clothes.
Okay, so female singers wear less feminine clothes, right?
Like jeans instead of skirts.
Like jeans instead of skirts.
And he suggests this is because otherwise they'd just be discounted as trivial.
Otherwise, they've been discounted as trivial. Trivial means like they are the small things and all that. So, in order they wish to be taken seriously, that's why women's dress is affected by this factor.
But you could argue they're just wearing what's practical. I mean, a pop music concert is usually a pretty energetic affair.
Yes, he doesn't make that point, but I think you're probably right.
Yeah, their reaction to the masculine nature of music. He doesn't write that point, but probably you are right. Now that is the opinion of that lady, option C. Okay, question number 29. What did Joanna's... Sorry? Right answer is A. C is the wrong one. Why wrong? Because Mike Frost's article does not say that. Please listen to this last part. You'll be clear.
Now, popular music has feminine clothes, like jeans instead of skirts. And he suggests this is because otherwise they'd just be discounted as trivial.
But you could argue they're just wearing what's practical. I mean, a pop music concert is usually a pretty energetic affair.
Now, this is what she's saying. Option C. Their reaction to the masculine nature of music, pop concert and all that.
Yes, he doesn't make that point, but I think...
He doesn't make that point. Okay, question number 29. What did Joanna's subjects are the people on which he did the experiment, say about the audience at a performance? Now, audience mean people who come to watch the concert. So, what did Joanna's subjects say about the audience at a performance? Option A. Musician's choice of clothing is linked to respect for the audience. Musician's choice of clothing linked to respect for audience. Like if I dress up nicely, it means I respect my audience. A. B. Clothing should not distract the audience from the music. Like if you are wearing very bright colors or if you are wearing a dress which is shining. So instead of focusing music, people will look at the shines and all that. Okay, this is true for our Pakistani musicians, some of the dancers like that. Option C, audience should make the effort to dress appropriately. Audience should make the effort to dress. Now, audience should dress appropriately when they are going to the concert. So, option A, musician's choice of clothing is linked to respect. If musician is wearing nice dress, it means he respects the audience. Option B, clothing should not distract the audience from the music. Not like people are looking at my clothing instead of observing my singing and all that. And option C, audience should make the effort to dress appropriately. Let's see.
I was interested by the effect of the audience at a musical performance when it came to the choice of dress.
The subjects I interviewed felt this was really important. It's all to do with what we understand by performance as a public event. They believed the audience had certain expectations, and it was up to them as performers to fulfill these expectations, to show a kind of esteem.
They weren't afraid of looking as if they'd made an effort to look good.
I think in the past, the audience would have had those expectations of one another too, but that's not really the case now. Not in the UK, anyway.
No.
Absolutely. Musician's choice of clothing is linked to respect for the audience. Audience should make the effort, that was in the past somewhere, and clothing should distract. This is not discussed in that way.
I was interested by the effect of the audience at a musical performance when it came to the choice of dress.
The subjects I interviewed felt this was really important. It's all to do with what we understand by performance as a public event. They believed the audience had certain expectations.
They believe that the audience have certain expectations. Not audience should make the effort to dress appropriately.
and it was up to them as performers to fulfill these expectations.
Okay, so performers should fulfill these expectations. That means musicians' choice of clothing is linked to respect for the audience. For respect for the audience, they're using the word esteem.
To show a kind of esteem.
They want
To show a kind of esteem. Kind of esteem means kind of respect. So option A is the right one here.
afraid of looking as if they'd made an effort to look good.
I think in the past, the audience would have had those expectations.
In the past, it's different. So actually C is not the answer. Question number 30. According to the speakers, musicians could learn from sports scientists about. Now, link of musicians with sports scientists. What can they learn from them? A. Importance of clothing for physical freedom. Underline that. Importance of clothing, physical freedom. Physical freedom means you can move your arm, you can move your body if you're wearing the clothes like that. Option B, part played by clothing in improving performance. Part played by clothing in improving performance. So the role of clothing in improving the performance. And C, way clothing may protect against physical injury. Like clothing can actually protect you against the physical injury. Let's see what that is.
And I also got interested in what sports scientists are doing too with regard to clothing.
Musicians are quite vulnerable physically, aren't they? Because the movements they carry out are very intensive and repetitive. So I'd imagine some features of sports clothing could safeguard the players from the potentially dangerous effects of this sort of thing.
Yes, but musicians don't really consider it. They avoid clothing that obviously restricts their movements, but that's as far as they go.
C. A is importance of clothing for physical freedom, they avoid. And C is way clothing may protect against physical injury. Please listen to it again.
And I also got interested in what sports scientists are doing too with regard to clothing.
Musicians are quite vulnerable physically, aren't they? Because the movements they carry out are very intensive and repetitive. So I'd imagine some features of sports clothing could safeguard the players from
Safeguard the players from
the potentially dangerous effect.
potentially dangerous effect. That potentially dangerous effect means physical injury. So option C, way clothing may protect against the physical injury. All right. Okay, now we've got section 4. Complete the notes below, write one word only. No number, just word. Now just again, you're going to focus synonyms. Right? In part 4, again they will just observe whether you can find the right answer and understand English language, especially the synonyms. In part 3, they see whether you can find the right information from some confusing information through multiple choice questions. They check that. So let's take a start. Use of soil, underline soil, to reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So now what are they doing? They are this whole by the way, in part 4 they will give you a part of a lecture. Part of a lecture means not full lecture, only one portion of the lecture, and that is usually of 6-7 minutes. So this is the part of a lecture, the use of soil to reduce carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. You can see Ratan Lal, okay, and then 13% is given. So when they talk about Ratan Lal 13%, it means they have come to the first bullet point. Clear? After that, the next bullet point is erosion. Now when they speak about erosion in the audio, you have to be active. Erosion is more likely in soil that is. Now listen, for in soil that is, for example, if the answer is going to be dirty soil, for example, dirty soil. So they will say soil that is dirty. In the audio, they will say dirty soil, or they will say soil is dirty, or soil which is dirty. You understand? So whatever they are going to say about the soil in the audio, that will be the answer. Now I play the audio.
You will hear part of a lecture about a way of reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
As we saw in the last lecture, a major cause of climate change is the rapid rise in the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere over the last century. If we could reduce the amount of CO2, perhaps the rate of climate change could also be slowed down. One potential method involves enhancing the role of the soil that plants grow in with regard to absorbing CO2. Ratan Lal, a soil scientist from Ohio State University in the USA, claims that the world's agricultural soils could potentially absorb 13% of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the equivalent of the amount released in the last 30 years, and research is going on into how this might be achieved. Lal first came to the idea that soil might be valuable in this way, not through an interest in climate change, but rather out of concern for the land itself and the people dependent on it. Carbon-rich soil is dark, crumbly and fertile, and retains some water. But erosion can occur if soil is dry, which is a likely effect if it contains inadequate amounts of carbon.
Before that, there was a lot of information, blah, 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 blah. And then they come to it, dry, right? Soil is dry. So whatever. Now you got to be alert. I mean, at times as you are listening, you're not writing, you might go to sleep as well. Eyes open, but actually sleeping. So therefore, that 13% and these things, and wait patiently when the answer is going to come. Okay, after that, the very next point, Lal found soil in Africa. One clue word, Africa. In the audio, they will talk about it. That was very dash. Now listen, magic. Want to see magic? Easy method. Yeah, some people trap students by teaching these methods. Very. Instead of very in the audio, they will use the word extremely. Right? Now second thing, whatever they say after extremely, that will be your answer. ये एक ही ट्रिक बताते हैं, बच्चे बेचारे कहते हैं वाह तो बहुत ही महान टीचर है, ठीक है? तो ये हर जगह नहीं लगती, ऐसे टीचर से भी बच के रहना है, ये जो आपको नहीं जादू से ऐसी ट्रिक्स बताएं and all that. So you will focus the word extremely. Whatever they say after extremely, that will be the answer.
Erosion is of course bad for people trying to grow crops or breed animals on that terrain. In the 1970s and 80s, Lal was studying soils in Africa, so devoid of organic matter that the ground had become extremely hard, like cement.
The ground had become extremely hard and then like cement. Now some will write very cement. Those who don't understand. I mean, if you understand, you know there is going to be something very. For very, they can use extremely, too much, or any other word like that. Okay, and the next bullet point does not have any question. You will let the audio go on, ba, 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 or you will go on. Then you will come to soil and carbon. So in the audio, they will speak about it. Next, we will talk about soil and carbon, or they will say any other thing. This is what I call signpost language. So we've got a handout on signpost language. I'll share that with you, signpost language. In part 4, signpost language is very important. What is that? First of all, now let's move on to soil and carbon. You will find these phrases there. Soil and carbon. Plants turn carbon dioxide from the air into carbon-based substances such as, now look here, answer is a carbon-based substance. Right? Answer is that carbon-based substance. So they will tell us about it. Plants turn. By the way, for turn, now again I show you another magic. For turn, they will use the word transform. Plants to transform, they convert. So whatever they use after transform, after convert, right? So that is going to be your answer. Let's see what that is.
There he met a pioneer in the study of global warming, who suggested that carbon from the soil had moved into the atmosphere. This is now looking increasingly likely. Let me explain. For millions of years, carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere have been regulated, in part, by a natural partnership between plants and microbes, tiny organisms in the soil. Plants absorb CO2 from the air and transform it into sugars, and other carbon-based substances.
Exactly. Transform them into sugar and other carbon-based substances. So sugar is carbon-based substance. They say sugar and other carbon-based substances. So the answer is sugar. Now don't write diabetes, okay? Just write sugar. S-U-G-A-R. Yeah, are you right? Brown sugar. Alright. Question number 34. Some CO2 moves. Now again I'm going to give you something. For moves they will use any other word. Focus there. Some CO2, carbon dioxide, moves from the dash of the plants. Answer is going to be the part of plant. Dash of the plant, leaves of the plant, branches of the plant, or anything like that, to microbes in the soil. So CO2 moves. Now let's see what is it that they move, right?
While a proportion of these carbon products remain in the plant, some transfer from the roots to fungi and soil microbes, which store the carbon in the soil.
Roots. And for move they use the word transfer. Some transfers from the roots. I play this again. Focus the word transfer.
While a proportion of these carbon products remain in the plant, some transfer from the roots to fungi and soil microbes.
Okay, some transfer from the roots, right? So transfer and move, they are the same, similar words. Okay, now there is a point and then they will come to regenerative agriculture. When they come to regenerative agriculture, they will tell you very clearly about it. Let's move on to, or now we are going to talk about, next we will discuss regenerative agriculture. Question number 35, uses established practices to make sure soil remains fertile and, now two things, they usually use the word and. For and in the audio they might use the word also. For and they use the word or. Fertile or dash, fertile and dash, not only fertile but also fertile as well as. Now whatever they use the word, the answer is going to come with fertile, and it may come before fertile or it may come after fertile. Okay, root will also be correct. In 34 it will be correct. Yeah. So let's go on. 35 please.
Some growers have already started using an approach known as regenerative agriculture.
Yeah.
This aims to boost the fertility of soil and keep it moist through established practices.
Moist, yeah. So uses established practices to make sure soil remains fertile and moist. I play this again.
Some growers have already started using an approach known as regenerative agriculture. This aims to boost the fertility of soil and keep it moist through established practices.
Fertility. Instead of fertile, they use the word fertility and keep it moist. M-O-I-S-T. Very good. Question number 36. For example, through year-round planting. Now, just underline through year-round planting. You know what is through year-round planting? Throughout the year, you can plant anything. Now, when you are doing planting, for wheat, we have a season. For rice, we have a season. Now, it's the rice season. Even for other things, we've got the seasons, right? So, through year-round planting means the planting throughout the year. Then they say, through year-round planting and increasing the dash of plants that are grown. Increasing the dash of plants. It can be something which is related to the plants, okay? Okay guys, so 36, for example, through year-round planting and increasing. Now, underline the word increasing. And for increasing, they will use any other word, and after increasing, they will be your answer. Just keep in mind increasing. For increasing, let's see what is the word.
These include keeping fields planted all year round and increasing the variety of plants being grown.
Yeah, they use increasing, the same word. Increasing the variety of plants being grown. So variety is the answer. Question number 37. California study taking place on a big, again magic. Answer will come after large. For big, they will use the word large. So any other word. So they talk about this California study and taking place on a big dash farm. Now dash farm means type of farm. If they say large fruit farm, large agricultural farm, large type of farm. Okay, so let's see what is that. Simple.
One American investigation into the potential for storing CO2 on agricultural lands is taking place in California. Soil scientist Wendy Silver of the University of California, Berkeley, is conducting a first-of-its-kind study on a large cattle farm in the state.
On a large cattle farm, K-E-T-T. Yeah, sahi answer ka satyanas kar. Yeah, cattle farm. So cattle is like, dairy farm and all that. Very good. Question number 38. Uses compost made from waste from agriculture. Now it is agricultural waste and another type of waste. So the answer is going to be the second type of waste. One waste is agriculture waste and second waste, now they will tell us what is that waste.
She and her students are testing the effects on carbon storage of the compost that is created from waste, both agricultural, including manure and corn stalks, and waste produced in gardens, such as leaves, branches, and lawn trimmings.
And waste produced from gardens, such as, and then they mentioned that. So gardens will be the right answer, right? Okay, gardens, G-A-R-D-E-N-S. I play this again.
She and her students are testing the effects on carbon storage of the compost that is created from waste, both agricultural, including manure and corn stalks, and waste produced in gardens, such as leaves.
Yeah. And waste produced in gardens such as mean for example. So leaves will not be the answer, gardens. Question number 39. Australia's study aims to increase soil carbon by using dash that are always green. Something that is always green. Let's see what that is. That is always green.
In Australia, soil ecologist Christine Jones is testing another promising soil enrichment strategy. Jones and 12 farmers are working to build up soil carbon by cultivating grasses that stay green all year round.
Grasses, they stay green all year round. So the answer must be plural, grasses. G-R-A-S-S-E-S. Okay, let's go on. Question number 40. Future developments may include. So question number 40, giving farmers. Now listen, for give they use the word receive. If I say giving students, in the audio they might use the word students should receive. You understand? Students should receive. So giving farmers, for that they might use the word farmers should receive, and whatever they say after that, that will be the answer. Giving farmers dash for carbon storage as well as their produce.
It's hoped in the future that projects such as these will demonstrate the role that farmers and other land managers can play in reducing the harmful effects of greenhouse gases. For example, in countries like the United States, where most farming operations use large applications of fertilizer, changing such long-standing habits will require a change of system. Ratan Lal argues that farmers should receive payment, not just for the corn or beef they produce, but also
farmers should receive payments. Now you write payment singular or payments plural, that will be the right answer. Okay, that's great. इसको ज़रा बंद कर दें.